Basically looks like an RV park, except it's not.
Hi, we're Mel and Jay. Together with our cat Benny, we're traveling the Baja Peninsula all the way to Cabo and back. This is our adventure in Los Barriles, where we see jumping Mobula rays for the first time, check out the local town and farmers market, and make chayote squash salad.
There was a sign for 90.
On that note, the roads from La Paz to Los Barriles so far are actually pretty good. We've got a 2-lane highway, a nice big shoulder at the moment.
Huge.
We're quite happy with it. Well, that didn't last long. As soon as the highway split, we are back down now to 1-lane highway with minimal shoulders.
We've arrived at a potential boondocking spot here in Los Barriles, and I'm just walking out the road just to see how soft the sand is and kind of where it ends up. So far it looks very promising, but you never know what you're going to get into, and with the trailer it's pretty difficult to back out of a situation. So let's go see the route to the beach. I see some trailers, so that's usually a pretty good sign. So yeah, very drivable. Basically looks like an RV park, except it's not. A little bit different vibe here. Gonna go back to Mel and get the trailer, drive down to the beach and see if we find a spot we like. There's a lot of factors to consider when you're trying to park your rig. You gotta think about the wind, which way that's coming. You gotta think about views, what you wanna see out your windows. So we're gonna leave it like this for a little bit and kind of settle in, get the feel for the place. Our solar panels are tilted a little bit kind of towards the sides of the trailer, and the sun's over here on my right. So I'm going to tilt these 2 panels on the left side up a little bit just to get a little bit more juice. Helps with running Starlink. Starlink uses a fair bit of power, 60 to 80 watts on average. Ocean's a bit choppy this morning, but I'm gonna go out and see what I can see. I think it's time to pump up the boat again.
All right, it's first thing in the morning. The sun is barely above the horizon, and we were enjoying our tea, and we happened to look out and find some Mobula rays jumping out of the water. And so now we're running down the beach with our kayak in hopes to get some on camera, and Jay wants to snorkel with them. You ready, honey?
Oh yeah. There's a fish.
Maybe it was just a fish. We got out here and now I don't see anything.
I saw one jump, but we were too late for it. It was pretty cool though. It must have jumped like 6 feet out of the water at least.
Looking for rays, not finding anything. So not much luck on this little voyage to find the Mobula rays, but maybe we'll be able to see them from shore later. There's a cow. A cow just walked into camp. Oh, there's 2. We got cows. There's a whole herd of them. There are cows. There are cows in our camp. Those are some pretty big horns. I hear banging over there at that van. I really hope they're not headbutting the van. It's a pretty hefty sized bull. There's a baby one. Will you come to me? Can I pet you? Oh, she's coming to me. Hello, pretty girl. She's like, you don't have food. Hello, little baby. Come on. I want to pet you. Oh, I love cows so much.
We've stopped here at a local vet clinic here in Los Barriles. We're on a bit of a mission because we're running out of dry cat food. So Mel's been trying to find some suitable veterinary special Benny food.
Well, unfortunately, that was a bust. Hill's prescription diet is turning out to be one of the toughest brands of pet food for us to find here. We might have to change diets completely for the rest of the trip. I guess I should have just brought enough for the whole time that we were going to be here, but I didn't because I thought, oh, it'll be cheaper in Mexico. Our mission today is to not only check out the town, but also to find tortillas.
Tortilla de harina. Oh, nice logo.
Gracias. You get corn tortillas from a cooler, usually near the front of the store. There we go. It's a lot of tortillas. All right, what are we getting here, honey?
Need some water. Agua purificada.
They have a little newspaper called the Gringo Gazette. I love it.
Sounds like that's for us. There are a lot of pharmacies in Los Barriles. In Mexico, you can buy many drugs over the counter that you'd need a prescription for in Canada or the US.
Let me give you a little tour of camp. There's two roads that come down off of the main road from town. We came off the second one and it led us all the way down here to the beach. And there's the water. It's a little bit less windy up back here than it was at the water. We've got our beach fence up to prevent any of the wind blowing the sand up under the trailer, and then we can sit on the other side. The prevailing winds tend to come from the kind of north-ish area. We like our slide pointing towards the wind so that there's less flapping of the slide topper. No amenities, of course, in terms of hookups, but there was a gentleman who came by this morning and collected garbage. And we've also seen another truck coming by to fill up people's propane tanks. We also met a gentleman selling strawberries. You can see some other people tucked in here among the bushes. Again, that's because of the wind. It's very, very calm right now. We've noticed that it tends to be calm kind of in the morning between like 8 and 10 a.m., but then the winds pick up quite a bit in the afternoon.
Los Barriles is a favorite spot for kite surfers since throughout most of the winter there's a consistent wind from the north. You can even take lessons here too, but we opted for snorkeling instead.
It's guac o'clock, and we picked up a souvenir in La Paz. Let's test it out. Putting in half a lime and just a nice. It's perfect.
Wow, look at how much
Nice little
juice you get out of that.
squeeze. Where has this been all our trip? That's freaking awesome.
So now it's time for Cooking with Mel.
Today, of course, from our cookbook, I want to make this. It's called chayote squash salad. Now, you might be wondering, what the heck is a chayote squash? This is what they look like. You might be surprised, you actually can get them in a lot of stores in Canada and the States. Let's get started. So, I've got to roast the garlic and the peppers first.
That's an interesting way to roast.
Yep. It's said to just let them roast in a pan on medium heat for about
10 minutes. All right, while the garlic and chilies are cooking, I'm going to cut up the chayote squashes. So we have to cut them vertically or lengthwise. There's supposed to be a pit in here. Ah, I cut through the pit. Prying the pit out. These are not appropriate knife skills. No one look.
Hold, stop everything. Jay is intervening. This is a much better knife for doing that. We don't want any injuries.
Dropping food, that's not good. It's starting to brown, look. And now my water is coming to a boil, so I'm gonna put this in and I'm gonna steam it. There we go. All right, now I am skinning the garlic and I'm gonna chop up the chilies a little bit more.
All right, I'll take some squash and some tomato.
Spicy?
Whoa, good. It's got a latent kick.
Oh, I'm good.
Water?
Yep, that is good though. The tomato and the dressing is really good. I'd eat that. I think I want it colder though. It's just like room temp right now. Yeah, we'll mix it and let the flavors sit for a few minutes and then we can eat.
Many of the expats staying in Los Barriles use ATVs to get around town. It makes it easier with the narrow streets and limited parking.
Every Saturday there's a market that hosts food and art from both locals and expats. It takes place in La Laguna Park, which can be found on Google Maps. Good morning. We are out here on the beach very early. This is about the 5th morning that we've been here, and we are still yet to capture some Mobula rays on camera. I've got multiple cameras on me. Jay is going out in the kayak. We have seen a lot of them jumping while we're sitting in the dinette, having a dinner or breakfast or something. It's a lot of waiting.
So I'm out here on the water. Mel's back there on shore. Not too much luck so far, unfortunately. The swells are still pretty high, and they only seem to come to the surface when the swells have kind of died down a bit and it's a bit more calm. While looking for groups of rays jumping, I noticed a pair of little fins sticking out of the water. It turned out to be a single Mobula ray just swimming along. Well, that wraps up our time here in Los Barriles. To be honest, it wasn't necessarily our favorite spot, and that's okay. I mean, not every spot's gonna be our favorite.
Yeah.
Can't be.
No.
I would say it was maybe just a little bit busy and a little bit touristy, but a lot of people might really like it because it is very like, it is a very like Americanized experience of Mexico,
It's extremely convenient, right? A lot of shops, almost everyone spoke English. So if you're not comfortable speaking Spanish, then this is definitely a great spot. Next week, we are heading to a spot called Los Barriles. It's just south of Cabo Pulmo, which is a huge destination for scuba diving and snorkeling.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a lot quieter, we think, and a lot more off the beaten path. So I think that'll be more up our alley. We'll see you then. So next week, we are heading to a place called Cabo Frailes, or
No.
Frailes.
Los Barriles.
Los Frailes?
Yes.
So next week, we're heading to a place called Los Frailes. Is it Frailes or Frailes?
Barriles.
Are you sure?
Sí.
Why don't you say where we're heading next week?
I was going to say all my life, but I've never had the occasion to juice limes before. So. Make sure you don't miss the next video by liking, subscribing, and turning on notifications. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.